Alright folks, what is up? This is One Big Bug and I'm coming at you with a new game that I'm going to be putting to my channel. I'm going to be doing something a little different. And this game is FTL, Faster Than Light. Again, like I said, it's a new game out. It's been out for 1-2 months, I think, maybe a little bit longer. I've only known about it for the past couple months. It's kind of a space, turn-based strategy game. Kind of hard to explain. You have to see it in action. But what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do an official playthrough of the game. What I'm going to do is try to go in depth about each ship, their advantages and disadvantages, each weapon type, missiles, beams, bombs, and lasers, the benefits of shields, doors, sensors, all kinds of upgrades, how to upgrade, hints, tips, and everything else I can about this game. I'm going to do it in a more casual manner, I think. But this is something more I want to do than a playthrough, because a lot of people are doing playthroughs, and I don't feel like starting over, because most playthroughs, you start over. So, you start out with just one ship, and that's the Kestrel. This is the basic ship you start with. As you go on, as you can see, you can unlock other ships by meeting certain conditions or completing certain events in the game. I'm only missing two. I'm missing the Mantis Cruiser and the Unidentified Cruiser. It's the only two I'm missing. I know how to unlock both. I just haven't had what I needed when I got to the event to unlock them. Because to unlock some of them, you need specific equipment, or you need to do specific things in order to unlock specific ships. So, and each ship actually has an alternate layout. And I'll use the NG ship to describe, because I've unlocked the alternate layout on the NG ship. Layout, Type A. I have an ion blast, I have an anti-ship drone, I have 3 crew members. And then Type B, the Vortex. I have a heavy ion blast, I have a heavy laser, and I also have an anti-personnel drone and 2 system repair drones. I only have 1 crew member, and I have, by the looks of it, no internal sensors. This also has a drone reactor booster. Improves the speed of the drones by 50%, so they move faster. But here we are, the Kestrel. I haven't unlocked the alternate loadout for the Kestrel yet. You have to unlock 2 of the 3 achievements. And for the Kestrel, you either have to have 6 unique aliens. And this is the ship I'm going to go in depth with first. You have to have 6 unique aliens. You have to have human, NG, slug, rock, mantis, and Zoltan. You have to have 1 of each alien. And each alien has their benefits and drawbacks, which I'll go into in another video. You do that. There's this one. Have every system and subsystem installed on the Kestrel Cruiser at one time. This is confusing for a lot of people. A lot of people think this means you have all your stations manned, you have all your upgrades, you have all your augmentations, all your weapons, and all your cargo bays filled and everything like that. No. What this means is that every system on the ship, which is there now, engines, oxygen, weapons, shields, med bay, doors, sensors, pilot. And then there's 3 subsystems you can have installed: a crew teleporter, a drone control, and a cloaking mechanism. Have all of those on your ship at one time, and you unlock full arsenal. And the last one is you repair the Kestrel Cruiser from 1 damage back to full health, from 1 health left back to full health. Complete 2 of these 3, and you'll get the Type B loadout. Now, for the sake of the videos, for the sake of my sanity, and for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to be using the easy setting. I apologize if this bothers anyone, but in the long run, I really need it. So we're going to go over a lot of the basics first before we even ever leave the starting area to show you anything else. Okay. Now, this is your basic HUD right here. This is your fuel. It takes 1 fuel per jump. And the game's paused right now. There we go. When you jump, you get this map and you choose, you know, where you want to go. I have show beacon paths on hover, so I can tell if I jump here, okay, I can go there, then there. If I jump here, I can go there, there, and there. Okay, it helps you from getting cornered and into bad situations and judging, as you'll see later on. I'm gonna go into the enemy fleet. This one I'm doing live. I think maybe latter ones I'm going to record, render the videos, and then so I can take pieces out of them that I want and put them all together and then narrate over it. It's something I really like to do, I think. But I don't know for sure if I'm going to do it that way or if I'm just going to try and do everything live. So that's your fuel. You also have missiles. If you fire a missile, it obviously consumes one. There are also bombs in the game. Bombs will also consume missiles. You have to be very stringent on using your missiles to start. It's very important that you keep an eye on your supply, know when to use them and when not. That'll come in the hints, tips, and tricks video. Last one is number of drone parts. If you're using drones at all, you need drone parts because that's what will consume. Consume a drone part to put that drone into action. This is your current amount of scrap. Scrap is the currency that makes this world go around in this game. You use scrap to upgrade your ship, to upgrade your power, to buy weapons, to buy systems, to buy fuel, to buy missiles, drone parts, augments. It's the currency for everything. Over here is your shields. Right now I only have 1 shield. You can upgrade to a total of 4 shields. I'm going to go into more depth about upgrading them in a little bit. 1 shield is just really not a lot of protection. And then hints and tricks whatnot video, I'm going to go over a little bit more about shields and when to upgrade for certain ships. Evade, this is your chance to dodge incoming fire. This is affected by 3 things. Number 1, the condition of your engines and how much you have them upgraded and powered up. Number 2, if your pilot is piloting, your pilot system is not down, and how good your pilot is. Number 3, if you have somebody manning the engineering bay. These 3 things affect your dodge chance. The more you have your engine powered up and the more upgrade you have on your engine, the more dodge you have. The better your pilot is, the more dodge you have. The better the person in the engineering is, the more dodge you have. So I can even show you right here. We'll take Nausea and send them back to the engines. Right now I have 10% evade. Now watch when Nausea gets to the console. 5% more. So I have 15% evade. Now these systems you can, and I'll go over them more in a minute, you can power them down or power them up depending on what you want. So I can actually take power away from the med bay and put it in the engine and give myself a 20% chance to dodge if I so choose. But I'll go over that in a little more detail in a minute. Actually, why don't I go over it now? Down here is your weapons and your power and the power to your systems. Your system's toughness is also shown by how many bars you have. For each bar you have, your systems are able to sustain 1 point of damage before shutting down completely, with an exception to the shields, which I'll go into in a moment. So my ship has 2 bars right now, even though 1 bar isn't powered up. Which means before my engine's completely shut off, my ship can sustain 2 points of damage to its engines before the engines go offline. My oxygen and my med bay can only get hit, if they get hit at all, then they're probably going to shut down. And of course, then there's also your weapons. You power up your weapons by clicking on them. You can also power them down by right-clicking on them. And they also take time to generate, to charge up. And if you have somebody on the weapons, they will charge. Their charge time will become a little faster, as you actually saw the bars. If you watch there, if I move them away, the bars get a little bit longer. If I move them back, they get a little bit shorter. Now, it may not seem like much, but believe me, every little bit that you can charge your weapons up helps. Every little bit that you can just knock off that time. Now, each subsystem is obviously self-explanatory. Shields, your protection, engines, your movement, but it also affects how fast your jump engine charges, which means that if I'm in a fight, my jump engine will actually charge as long as my engines have some kind of power to them. The more power I have, the less damage they are, the faster it'll charge. So if I'm in a fight and I just don't think I can win, or it take too many resources to win, then I can just try and last the fight out until my jump engines come up, and then I can jump away. Oxygen, kind of obvious, keeps your ship oxygenated, gives you air. If this goes offline, your ship, as you can see here, your oxygen level of the ship will start to drop. If it gets into dangerous levels, your crew will start to suffocate and die. Your med bay, obviously, where they'll go to heal after being injured. And that's that. Yes, each crew has an amount of health, you can see. And, of course, if it reaches 0, they're dead. And you cannot recover them. Now, under the ship tab, here's our upgrades. It shows you the upgrades and how much it'll cost to upgrade each system. It also gives you the menu on the right-hand side that shows you how much the next upgrade costs and the benefits of that upgrade. So if I upgrade my med bay to level 2 advanced med bay, I'll get 1.5 times the healing instead of 1 times the healing. The system power for the weapons, each weapon takes a certain amount of system power. As you can see here, this takes 2, this takes 1, so it's a total of 3. If I want to add another weapon into this slot and this slot, I have to make sure that I can actually have the system power. So I can add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can add 5 bars worth of weapons in there. So I can add like another 3-bar weapon and a 2-bar weapon, a 4-bar weapon and a 1-bar weapon, or 2 2-bar weapons with 1 left over. But that's all I can do for that system. I cannot upgrade beyond that point. And your oxygen, just how fast it refills. Also, a benefit that you can have, even if you don't power it up, again, like I said, if your oxygen section takes damage right now, it'll automatically go offline. If you actually pay into your oxygen system, even if you don't power it up to that point, what this will allow to happen is your oxygen system to take damage without completely shutting down. Those empty bars act like buffers to prevent your system from completely shutting off down to that last power bar. Engines, again, like I said, powering up your faster light drive and gives you dodge, and it shows you, plus 5, plus 10, 20, 30, 20, 25, 28, 31, 35, and how much faster your engine charges. And of course, shields. Shields are kind of the odd one out in this game. With shields, your shields, you must upgrade them in increments of 2. Such as right now, I can buy 1 bar up in shields, but that will not give me a level 2 shields. I must get to, as well, I want to move my pointer, but I can't. If we look over here on the right, I must spend a total of 50 scrap to get 2 shield bars. And in my power, I'm pointing at my screen like you can see this. And in my power, which I'll go over in a minute, which is here, I must buy also 2 bars of power if I want to keep everything powered up the way it is. But if I wanted to, I could buy 1 bar of power and then maybe take power away from the med bay and power up my shields, which I'll show you later on. So shields, you must always think ahead of the fact that you must invest in 2 bars of shields in order to get the next 1 level of shield power. Now these right here, these are your subsystems. This is your piloting. Allows you to make the jumps, dodge while piloting. Upgrading it allows an autopilot that allows for some evasion with autopilot. So if your pilot dies, your ship, or if your pilot's not there, like you have to pull your pilot away to help fight a fire or a boarding crew or to fix something, your ship will still have some evasion. At the first level, it's 1/4 of your evasion. At the second level, it's half. So let's say I have 50% evasion. I pull my pilot away. Now I have 25% evasion. But without it, then you need a pilot. As you can see, in the first level, if you take your pilot away, you're pretty much going to get slammed by everything. Sensors. Sensors reveal the interior about your ship and give you basic information about the enemy. Basically what weapons they have, if they have shields, if they have a crew teleporter, if they have drone control, things like that. Your first level of upgrade, you can see the interior of the enemy ship, which to me is very important. It allows you to see your enemy's movement, see where they are, see how much health they have, see what they're working on fixing. You can see if there's a fire in the enemy ship, all kinds of things, and it actually is beneficial. It is important beyond belief if you're going to be using a crew teleporter and sending crew over to board the enemy ship and try and kill the enemy crew that way, which I've actually become very fond of. So yeah, very important to at least get level 2 in the enemy sensors. As a matter of fact, getting level 2 in the sensors is a must to unlock one of the ships, which I'll do in another video, of course. And then the third level of upgrade, you can actually see the enemy's power usage. And you may not think this is important. Well, why do I care if I see what their power is? With this, you can see how much damage is done to the system and how soon it may be back online. So I can see that if I've taken weapons completely offline, I can watch the progress of the repair of the person that's repairing it, and I can see how quickly that missile launcher may come back online. And I can judge then, well, should I retarget and keep the systems down, or should I go for the engines, or should I go for the shields? You know, do I have time before that missile launcher comes back online? So it's not necessary, but it's actually pretty good to have. And here, excuse me a second, we have our door system. Door system, of course, keeps, show you here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 outer doors that lead to space. And then I have all my interior doors that section off the rest of the ship. Normal doors basically just help section off the ship. They don't do much else. The only thing that's important is these doors. You hear the rush of air. I lost 6% of my oxygen doing that because I opened the doors to space. So why the hell would you open your doors to space? Well, there are benefits. You suck all the oxygen out of a compartment. You can starve a fire out rather than having to send people in to firefight it and get hurt that way. Or you can actually starve boarders of oxygen so that they'll be either damaged or they'll die before they can reach anywhere and do any damage or have to fight your crew. But unfortunately, with normal doors, anyone on your ship is free to move about the entire ship, including boarders. So if people board your ship, they can go to wherever they want, whenever they want, which makes it difficult. So upgrading at least to level 2 doors is vital. Because blast doors, as you can read up there on the right, not only impedes fire, but it'll also impede intruders. They actually have to get through the doors. They have to spend some time shooting the doors to get through them in order to do damage, in order to get to the next section, which allows you to starve them of oxygen more often. It allows you to see their movements of where they're going to go. Okay, they're attacking this door, which means they're headed, this is where they're going to be next. So it allows you to set your crew up to be ready for them when they come into that room. It allows you to plan better, and improve blast doors, of course, impede fire and take more time for the enemy to get through. Oftentimes, I will have level 3 blast doors by the end of the game, just because I'm getting that much scrap, that it is actually something that you can do. And of course, power. this is all the power you can have. 25 power bars, I think. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, 25 power bars. So you can only power up to 25 unless you have Zoltan, which I'll go over later, Zoltan crew members. So this is something you have to keep in mind as well. Now, your subsystems do not work off your power bars. Your piloting, your sensors, and your door controls do not take any of your power bars. It's only the systems that you'll have up here. And if you install like cloaking or drone control or crew teleporter, then those will use power. But otherwise, these down here do not. So the more you upgrade the power bar, the more you upgrade your reactor, the more power you have, the more expensive they will become. They don't like increase every time you buy. They increase like per bar. So this will be, the next two will be 20, 25, 30, and then 35 per last row, I think. And you know, like I said, that's as far as you can go, so you got to keep that in mind. If you want full level shields, you know, you're going to need 2, 4, yeah, you're going to need, I'm sorry, as long as I've been playing this game, I actually counted the numbers. You're going to need 8 bars of power. So you can automatically take 8 power bars off of this. You know, if you want full weapons, you're going to need 8 bars of power. You know, if you want to upgrade your engines, how many bars of power are you going to use? If you're going to have a subsystem installed, how many bars of power are you going to use? So that's where you got to keep that in mind. This is where some of the decision making goes. If I do this, will I have enough power? If I do this, will I have enough system power? You know, things like that. So that's really important to keep in mind. Then there's also your crew. As you can see here, you can have up to 8 crew members. Each ship starts with a different amount of crew members and have different benefits and negatives. The Kestrel, being the basic ship, just starts with 3 basic humans that have no exceptional traits. The crew skills you see down bottom are listed as such. The first one going from the top left down and down, and then going to the right and down. Piloting, shields, repairs, engines, weapons, and fighting. The longer a crew member spends doing a certain task, the better at that task they become. And they'll actually gain a level. Each crew member can gain 2 levels in a certain area, or 2 stars, star 1 and star 2. And the more they improve in that area, the more benefits that area will receive. Weapons will take less time to charge. Shields will come back up faster. You'll get more dodge in piloting. You'll get more dodge from engines. They'll be able to repair the ship faster. They're better at repelling boarders, or they're better at boarding and battling enemy crew on the other ship. Things like that. So it is extremely advisable, as a matter of fact, don't do anything else, to keep a single crew member on a single task at all times as much as possible, because it is possible to lose crew members. So in this case, like Yevon, I'll keep as my pilot. Zaz, I'll keep as my shields man, and Naza, I'll keep as my weapons expert. And that's the task they will always do, so that they can gain experience in those areas. And by the end, hopefully they'll still be with me, and they'll be fully experienced, and I'll have maximum benefits from their abilities. Now, each of these I'm going to go into more depth as I can. You know, it's just going to be a matter of recording the actual game. Now here's your equipment. Your equipment shows everything you have, your weapons, and it gives you your basic, your basic information. Standard missile launcher on most Federation ships requires 1 bar of power. It takes 11 seconds to charge base. That does not include any benefits that you get from having a weapons expert. The missile does 2 damage per shot. Shield piercing is 5, which means it'll pierce through all shields. No ship in this game can have higher than a level 4 shield. So it is guaranteed to impact. It has a low chance of creating a fire and has a low chance to breach a hull. Breaching a hull means you actually punch a hole in the hull and it actually starts sucking the oxygen out of that room. So that's what a hull breach is. As a matter of fact, there's a missile specifically designed called the breach missile. It's not only made to do damage, it is made to punch holes when it hits. And then the burst laser Mark II requires 2 power, 12 seconds, fires 3 shots at 1 damage per shot. Cargo. Cargo is anything that you can't use that's not an augment. So say I have 4 weapons and I get a 5th. It'll go into the cargo. If I get drones and I don't have a drone control installed right now, it'll go into cargo. Drone control is obviously will give me a similar setup to this, but will show me what drones I have and what I can use. Augments are things that improve your ship's performance. There are such things as FTL recharges your faster than light jump faster. FTL jammer, which prevents the enemy, well, it doesn't prevent, but slows their faster than light charging. Shield augment, which your shield generate faster. Weapon recharge augment, so your weapons recharge faster. My favorite, the weapon pre-igniter, so that you enter each sector with your weapons fully charged at the start. There's also extended long-range sensors and drone recovery arm, scrap recovery arm, things like that. I'll go over all these augments in other videos. But there's actually quite a few. But there are some augments I think that are worth it, and there are some augments I think are not. There are also certain ships that come, well, not just certain ships, all ships, but this one, and I believe the Federation cruiser, yeah, they all have augments. At least I think so. The NG one, yeah, the NG Medbot dispersal. This has long-range scanners and titanium casing. Slug gel, rock plating, Zoltan shields. So a lot of them already come with a certain ship trait augment already installed. Only this one, the Federation Heavy Cruiser, and the Artemis do not have augments. So that's very important to keep in mind. Okay. I'll just show you one thing real quick here. You know, you just choose where you want to go. Use as a fuel. We'll just jump here. And we have a basic battle engaged. Now, this shows me, you know, their basics. They have weapons, although I don't know what type until they show them. Their engines, their shields are all green. And it shows me their layout. And if crew are moving about the ship, I'll see the doors open and close, but I won't actually see the crew. So you power up your weapons. Now there is an auto fire function here. The auto fire function means if I target my Artemis on the weapons and I target my burst laser on the shields and hit auto fire, every time my weapons recharge, they will attack that target, and I don't have to keep telling them. I'm going to be honest with you, I used to do that. I don't like auto fire anymore for specific reasons. Because sometimes you don't want to shoot a weapon right away, like my Artemis. If I knock down what I need to knock down, then I want to save my Artemis. Because I don't want to waste missiles. Having auto fire on means that I have to take the time to de-target it. Which, at the rate that I do things, is a bad idea. By manually targeting everything each time, I don't have to worry about that. Now, taking a look at the hostile rebel fighter against, he has a missile launcher. Missile launchers are bad because they punch through shields. Normally, I would target my missile on his shields, hope to take out the shields, and then so all 3 of my burst laser hits can target his weapons. And hopefully all 3 will hit, doing 3 damage to his hull. Which, by the way, yeah, this is your hull. Of course, if it reaches 0, ship is destroyed. Each bar is a point of damage your hull can take. So if my burst laser hits 3 times, it'll knock off 3 bars. But because he has a missile launcher, because my Artemis charges that little bit faster than my burst laser, I'm going to target his missile, his weapons first, and then I will put the burst laser on his shields instead. Now, the enemy ship will almost always fire first, and that hurt. But that's okay. We took his weapons out right away. Now, I don't need to waste time at this moment. Oh, we started a fire in his shield bay, which damaged his shields to completely offline. We also took his oxygen offline. Now, this happens a lot. The enemy can choose to surrender. You can either choose to accept the surrender, or you can actually accept to kill them. And you got to judge. Do you think what you're being offered is good, or do you think what you're being offered is crap and you can get better by destroying them? In this case, playing this game enough, for a first encounter, that's actually a pretty good offer. So this guy gets to live. But that's just to show you the battles real quick and how they go. Choose your targets. Try and take them out. Try to remember your supplies. You know, I'll go into more depth and detail on that in another video as well. But that's all I wanted to show you, just the very quick basics. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll answer them as best I can, either on the video or in the comment section. Please remember that if you like any of my videos, I have a lot of League of Legends up. I'm doing a Road to Level 30 series. I'm going to be doing some Torchlight 2 very soon. I'm just going to be getting involved in a lot of stuff that I would like to get done. So keep all of that in mind. And I hope you will enjoy this new series as I go in depth about each ship, strengths and weaknesses, build orders, tips and tricks for each ship in fighting. If I go in more depths about the weapons, what's good, what's not, in my opinion, and things like that. How to unlock certain ships. You know, hopefully you'll enjoy all that, as well as continuing my road to level 30 and doing some new Torchlight 2 stuff. So until next time, folks, this is One Big Bugger. This is FTL, and we'll see where this series goes. I'll see you then.